Hello, I'm Brent Nelson, Senior Manager in our Global Packaging Sustainability Department at Amazon. Today, we're going to talk about packaging for Amazon fulfillment and give an overview of our frustration-free packaging programs. Inventing packaging at the Everything Store is a unique challenge. With nearly 200 million items for sale, we needed to invent a system that inspired the industry. Listening to the customer was the starting point. Millions of times per year, customers give us feedback about the packaging they receive from Amazon. While they often tell us they loved how their products were packaged, they also tell us when our packaging didn't work, when products were damaged or when the packaging was too big or just too hard to open. This data is one of the key stimuli that informed our worldwide packaging team to invent and simplify a system called frustration-free packaging, to inspire the industry to innovate packaging that reduces costs, lowers waste, and ultimately delights our customers. So first, we will discuss e-commerce retail in the context of global retail. Next, we'll cover the rising concern from customers around the wastefulness of packaging and the unique and powerful enablers of e-commerce as a retail model to reduce packaging waste. Next, we'll go into the specifics of the Amazon fulfillment process and contrast that to brick and mortar and the implications on packaging design. Finally, we will close with some outstanding case studies from global brand owners that have adopted our sustainable frustration-free packaging program standards. All right, first, in the upper left-hand corner, you see statistics as of the end of 2017, showing total global retail sales grew at 5.8% year over year. The e-commerce portion of retail grew at just under 25%. Therefore, it's pretty easy to discern that if you took away the e-commerce portion of retail sales, brick and mortar only grew at very low single digits. Looking at the chart on the right, in 2017, you see global e-commerce sales finished at $2.3 trillion and about 10% of total retail. Fast forward to just a few years to 2021, and you see that e-commerce sales are expected to more than double to nearly $4.9 trillion and 17.5% of total retail sales. So although a still relatively small portion of total retail sales, e-commerce is growing rapidly. So now let's take a look into these statistics a little deeper. Total global retail sales, including e-commerce, ended 2017 at a total of $22.6 trillion. Assuming an average margin of about 25%, the cost of goods sold is about $17 trillion. With packaging costing anywhere between 10 to 20% of the total cost of goods, the scale of packaging waste is over $3 trillion and provides little to no value to customers. With e-commerce at 10% of total global retail sales, there is nearly $350 billion in non-optimized packaging, and the scale of the problem is increasing as e-commerce is projected to grow to 17.5% of total retail by 2021. So the main message of the presentation is that the e-commerce retail model has a unique potential and offers powerful enablers versus brick and mortar to actually reduce waste in the environment through a number of key features. First and foremost, expensive romance packaging is not required. The role of packaging in brick and mortar retail is to capture that first moment of truth as a customer walks down the retail aisle and has a sea of choices available to them. Packaging's role in this context is to stand out versus competition by saying, I'm different, I'm better, I'm innovative. However, in an e-commerce retail environment, it's more often the product, not the packaging, that is displayed to customers. For many product categories in a brick and mortar environment, the size impression or value perception across products impacts packaging design, often leading to oversized and wasteful packaging. In an e-commerce environment, all package sizes look the same. Often redundant and difficult to open theft prevention features are certainly not required for e-commerce. And last but not least, product reviews and star ratings to guide customers in e-commerce is a powerful enabler to reduce waste. Well, now let's bring some of these enablers to life. First, this is one of many examples we could show to demonstrate the concept of romance packaging. Men's razors and razor refills, it's expensive product. There's expensive graphic treatments and packaging materials are all designed to capture that customer's attention and stand out versus competition. However, in an e-commerce environment, you notice with the item in the middle, there's no packaging displayed to customers. It's the product only. I would argue that with the items on the left and the right-hand sides of the page, that the impact of the packaging on customer preference in an e-commerce detail page environment is certainly diminished versus what customers experience on a brick-and-mortar shelf. Next, toys. This is an example of an industry that has adopted our sustainable frustration-free packaging program standards much earlier than others. However, when you look at a brick-and-mortar toy shelf, you often see packaging for toys and other products that is oversized with difficult-to-open packaging features and cutouts that certainly would not enable the product to ship in its own vendor or seller-supplied packaging in e-commerce fulfillment. But on an e-commerce detail page or the e-commerce shelf, you actually see the product or the toy itself and not the packaging. Next, size is everything. Particularly in categories like personal care or cleaning products such as laundry detergent, the value impression on shelf is critical. What you see next is 3 items displayed on the retail shelf as they are displayed in an e-commerce environment. All 3 items, despite being disparate sizes, all look the same in terms of size and value impression. So the implication for e-commerce is that brand owners have the opportunity to concentrate their products, making them more sustainable and not worry about the value impression on shelf being smaller than the competition. So I've been talking a lot about the first moment of truth in a brick and mortar environment related to packaging. The first moment of truth in an e-commerce environment is very different. With rapidly increasing use of mobile devices by Amazon customers at nearly 50% of all purchases, there are certainly implications for packaging design. As you can see on the mobile device here, images are smaller and it's quite difficult to determine what the brand is, let alone the impact of packaging originally designed for brick and mortar shelf. What does stand out, however, is the star ratings. Additionally, as more customers use Amazon to begin their shopping by researching product reviews and star ratings, poorly designed products and packaging for e-commerce can certainly impact purchase intent across all of retail. So obviously, the first time that a customer interacts with a product purchased through e-commerce is on a customer's doorstep. What we see here is 2 versions of the same 38.5-pound premium dog food from Hills. The item on the left shows the typical brick-and-mortar primary package format in a bag that Amazon has to overpack to prevent damage. The item on the right is the same product in a frustration-free certified package that is right-sized, minimizes waste, and ultimately is designed to prevent damage. Hills also elected to brand the package on both the inside and the outside of the package. Now the question I often get is, why can't Amazon put a right-size fitting overbox around every product they sell? With hundreds of millions of different size items for sale at Amazon, and each of our fulfillment centers having approximately 20 different unique box sizes, it's nearly impossible for Amazon to ship out a right-size fitting package for each order. As our mission is to reduce overall packaging waste, we are working with vendors and sellers to deliver packaging that is ready to ship without the need for additional packaging. The question is, which package would you want showing up on your doorstep? So in summary, the first part of this presentation, this is truly a collaboration, as we must partner together as an industry to innovate product and packaging for e-commerce that delivers 3 primary goals. First, superior technical design to differentiate and optimize customer experience. Most importantly, this is about delivering packaging that customers love. Second, this is about minimizing our environmental impact and reducing packaging waste. And third, a collaboration is needed to develop packaging at the lowest delivered cost for the entire supply chain, thereby reducing costs for our customers. Now, let's take a look inside the Amazon fulfillment process versus a brick-and-mortar retailer supply chain. Here, you see a typical brick-and-mortar and retailer's fulfillment process where a product is handled about 5 times before a customer puts an item from the shelf into their shopping cart. Product is shipped from the brand owner in bulk palletized format to the brick-and-mortar retailer's distribution center. Often then, it is broken down into master shipper quantities and delivered to the retail stores. It's important to note that not until the item is placed on the store shelf is the individual selling unit handled. Additionally of note, packages and products throughout the brick-and-mortar supply chain are shipped and handled in a vertical upright orientation. So now, let's compare to the Amazon supply chain. What you'll notice is that the number of touches on a product in the fulfillment process is about 4x what you see in a typical brick-and-mortar retailer's network. While product is delivered to Amazon from manufacturers in the same bulk palletized format, as soon as the product hits the first part of our network, labeled IXD or inbound cross-dock, it is most often broken down into the individual selling unit. That individual selling unit then traverses throughout the Amazon supply chain and ultimately is delivered to the customer in a process that I call single piece flow. You will notice on the image an icon of a laundry detergent bottle flowing through our network in multiple orientations. Certainly, when we ship to a customer through the single parcel delivery network, there is no top and bottom of an e-commerce package, meaning the product can be in any orientation. This in turn creates unique demands on a package design for online fulfillment versus brick and mortar. Finally, what you'll notice on the laundry bottle icon is an image of a poly bag surrounding the bottle. Items that are fragile or susceptible to damage or leaking are sidelined as soon as they enter our network for a process we call prep. Ultimately, we are adding additional protective packaging that a customer doesn't want or need in an attempt to prevent additional items from getting damaged. Now, let's take you through a journey through our fulfillment network. So the first step of the entire fulfillment process is the brand owner delivers product to the first part of our supply chain with the inbound cross-dock. The role of the inbound cross-dock is to take bulk quantities delivered from manufacturers and break it down into the individual selling unit in the quantities that are needed at each of our fulfillment centers. As you can see, problems with packaging can happen right at inbound. So as products are unloaded from the truck, they're sent to the receive station, where the role of our associate is to open the master shipper quantities, scan the item into inventory, and break it down into the individual selling unit. If items are not designed well or are fragile, you need to go to the prep station that you see here. Within each of these yellow totes that traverse throughout our network, multiple different products can be aggregated together in the quantities needed at each of our fulfillment centers. Inventory is loaded on trucks and then delivered to each of our fulfillment centers. As it arrives at our fulfillment centers, we then go through a process called stow. So here you see our Amazon robotics, and an associate is scanning an item and officially putting it into its inventory location. Then, as a customer orders products, the fulfillment magic begins. The same Amazon robotics bring the inventory that's been ordered from customers to a pick associate who scans that item, places it in a yellow tote, and send it on its way to the pack station. Again, multiple different items will be in each one of these yellow totes. It's then broken down into a final individual tote per item. Associate then takes that item, and each one of these cubbyhole positions represents a customer order. Packaging that's not designed to ship on its own must be placed into an Amazon applied overbox and additional dunnage. That pack is then sent on its way to the outbound shipping location within the fulfillment center. arriving at the sort center, those same packages are unloaded from trucks and then sent along a series of conveyors to be aggregated in customer locations or zip codes for final delivery. Then, after the final aggregation point, those same packages are loaded onto trucks for delivery on the last mile to a customer's doorstep. Now you've seen the entire fulfillment process. When we develop products and packaging for our own private label and private brands, as well as when we work with our global vendor and seller partners, the idea is that we create packaging that can survive the entire supply chain undamaged and intact for our customers. We have developed test methods with the International Safe Transit Association to accurately simulate the shock, vibration, and touches that could happen throughout our fulfillment process. These test methods use a series of drops on all faces, edges, and corners of a package, as well as a series of vibrations to simulate real-world conditions. Now let's review how Amazon defines sustainable packaging for online fulfillment. We created our Frustration-Free Packaging program to embody a set of core tenets, test methods, and a certification process to scale our ideas across millions of products. Our mission is that every item received by Amazon falls into one of our certification tiers in the Frustration-Free Packaging program. These tenets embody our program and ensure packaging is designed to reduce waste and are ready to ship to customers as received from our vendors and sellers. Packaging must protect the product from damage throughout the supply chain to the customer's doorstep without the need for additional packaging or prep by Amazon. This ensures that we lower packaging waste and reduce our environmental footprint. Packaging must be easy to open and eliminate wrap rage, so common among consumer packaging. Finally, we expect that all packaging components are designed for recyclability. Now let's take a look at the 3 tiers of certification in our Frustration-Free Packaging programs. Tier 1 and Tier 2 certifications are for items that are designed ready to ship in their own packaging. Items must be a minimum of 9 by 6 by 0.375 inches to qualify for Tier 1 or Tier 2 certifications and pass the ISTA6 Amazon SIOC certification test method. The key distinction for a Tier 1 certified package is that it contains 100% curbside recyclable packaging. While Tier 2 certifications must be capable of shipping in their own packaging, sometimes highly fragile products use packaging components that are not currently recyclable. The Tier 3 certification, also called Prep-Free Packaging, was developed for items that are too small to qualify for shipping in their own packaging and currently require additional packaging prep, such as bagging or bubble wrapping in our fulfillment network. Products that are certified in any of the 3 tiers will bypass the prep process. Taking these packaging development tenets to the industry has inspired our vendors to invent in their space. So now let's take a look at a great example of ready-to-ship Tier 1 certified packaging under our Frustration-Free Packaging program. Watch how Fisher-Price responded to our challenge. What you see here is the same toy from Fisher-Price, available in a certified Frustration-Free Package version on the left, and the same toy that is the brick-and-mortar version of the package, also for sale at Amazon, on the right. 90 seconds versus 9.5 minutes. One box versus more than 19 packaging components. As a parent, I certainly have experienced the frustration of packaging designed for brick and mortar and love frustration-free packaging as much as our customers do. Certified packaging under our frustration-free packaging program inspires our business partners and creates benefits for our customers. The reduction in packaging complexity and cost also results in less fuel required to ship products to our customers as we drive to reduce the overall volume of packaging shipped. So now let's take a look at some additional case studies from vendors who've adopted our frustration-free packaging standards. First, let's take a look at a great example from Philips Norelco of frustration-free packaging. You see on the left a standard brick and mortar version of the product and a frustration-free package version on the right. Now as we open the package, on the left you see a standard brick and mortar version, a beautiful package but certainly not designed to ship in its own container, versus the frustration-free package version on the right that's not decorated on the outside like a typical brick and mortar package, but actually creates a unique opening experience for customers. This package is made of 100% paper-based packaging, fully recyclable. But where the true impact is seen is looking at the sustainability statistics. A significant reduction in both packaging components, package volume, and the amount of air that we ship to customers, which is the difference between the dimensions of the product and the dimensions of the package. This is a win for customers and a win for the environment. This next case study highlights the unboxing experience and a product that's not designed for e-commerce. As you see, a ton of waste is generated just by ensuring that we get the product to a customer undamaged. What you see here is the package on the right is a certified frustration-free package, which ships in its own container and eliminates all the packaging waste you saw on the previous slide. Here's another great example of a toy that's certified frustration-free packaging, the standard brick and mortar version on the left, and an FFP design package on the right. Again, ready to ship in its own packaging to the customer. Looking at the statistics, you see a big reduction in packaging components and the overall packaging volume that we ship to customers. A real win for sustainability. Next, a case study of one of our most difficult to ship products, televisions. You see on the left a package that's not designed to ship in its own container that Amazon has to put an additional box as well as bubble wrap around the product to prevent that item from getting damaged, versus the frustration-free package version on the right that's certified to ship in its own container, and a huge reduction in packaging components. This next case study shows the Hill's premium dog food example shown earlier and highlights the unique branding that Hill's elected to do on both the outside and the inside of the package. Not only is this reduced packaging waste, but having a right-sized package actually reduces damage on its way to a customer. Next, a case study of a pretty utilitarian product here. This is a food storage kit from Newell Rubbermaid. You see the beautiful brick and mortar design package on the left that certainly cannot ship on its own given that the product is showing through the packaging, versus a right-sized frustration-free package version shown on the right. Again, a great sustainability story by the amount of packaging waste that we've reduced. Here is another product from our friends at Philips. This is a smart light bulb kit that works with the Amazon Echo device. You see a beautiful brick and mortar package on the left, however with some non-recyclable packaging components that we have to put an Amazon overbox around to protect this very fragile and expensive product, versus the frustration-free package version on the right, using 100% recyclable packaging components and ready to ship in its own container. And the final case study, this is a pack of 8 wet wipes that are sold through Amazon. You see on the left 2 stacks of 4 of these wet wipes that is too small of a dimension to actually be able to ship in its own container. So the brand owner actually redesigned the pack to do a simple orientation change of 4 stacks of 2. Now the new dimension of that pack meets our minimum size dimension to be able to ship that item in its own container. So a simple change to a product orientation actually enables us to reduce waste on behalf of our customers. By sharing our frustration-free packaging program learnings and collaborating with vendors across the world, we have certified over 1.4 million products as ready to ship without the need for additional packaging. Coupled with our team's efforts to reduce all types of packaging, we have reduced overall packaging waste by 16% in 2017 alone, and we are just beginning. Our mission again is that every item sold through Amazon is certified under our frustration-free packaging program and create a revolution in the packaging industry. In closing, we have a responsibility as an industry to collaborate together to fully leverage the enablers of e-commerce to reinvent packaging that reduces waste, minimizes costs, and ultimately delight our customers. Thank you.